Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Team Fortress TV and it's ETF2L Season 30 Premiership, sponsored by SDN Trading and Scrap.tf. It's playoffs and it's lower bracket final. Just one last couple of steps until we make it to our grand finale. But to decide who's going into our grand finale, we must watch the Bin versus SVIFT in that grand final. I'm TurboTabs. Join with me is Beta on the microphone and Gem in the production room. So I can't say hi to Gem really, but I can say to Beta. Beta, hi there. How's it going?
There. I'm melting just like everyone else. The weather's turned up again, but I'm more than happy to sit inside and cast on TF2. This should be a pretty fun game if nothing else. I'm a little bit curious because last time around the first map was really good and then the second map kind of went downhill, so to speak, where it just seemed like the Bin cared less and less the further on we went in the match. But hopefully we get a really good game here, as we should probably try to go through some map picks, shouldn't we?
Yep. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, my little map picker veto thing should be working. Otherwise, you might have to list it off for us because I can't see them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's just get the first ban in here. I'm wondering what it's going to look like. I don't know who bans first. It's going to be the Bin, and they banned Snakewater first. That's surprising. I was thinking Viaduct just immediately, right?
I've never been so happy to see a Snakewater ban in my entire life. I had to type in this code manually, Beta, and it's finally popped up. So there you go. You're right. The Bin banned Snakewater first. I guess it's just a very comfortable map pick for Team SVIFT, so no surprises here. SVIFT take out Product, which is, that wild card that everyone's terrified, and they've got the wild card man on that Bin squad. It's Mon, Gamer, Mr. Epic himself on that sniper, and you don't want to face off against that, so they just take it out of the equation altogether. And then SVIFT quickly follow with a Gullywash pick. Who would have guessed it? Gullywash picked in a playoff game, Beta.
Man, I can't believe everyone's favorite map got picked. But yes, this is a very solid map, and I do believe they played this the last time around as well, and it was a pretty solid win for SVIFT. I'm trying to remember. Or maybe that was Process and Granary. Oh well. But yeah, let's get the next one in here. See what the Bin feels like playing. And that's gonna be Process. So basically, the two most commonly adored maps right now have been picked.
Exactly the same map as like their previous match against the Bin Black, where they picked out Process. They didn't play Gullywash. They actually snuck in Product during that best of 3. So that will be a bit of a change for the Bin. Otherwise, the Bin should feel very comfortable playing that Process map again. But I don't know, man. Process, they look. SVIFT looked really, really convincing. Playing 7 on that Process map. I mean, they did lose, but it was really close.
Yeah, definitely. And we're actually going to get Badlands. So SVIFT picking Badlands. These days, people are not too fond of Badlands, but it's kind of, it's obviously a map everybody knows, but last has kind of slowed down a whole lot because of the cap time. So it's definitely a map you can slow down if you want to and just be really just methodical and take it easy if you want to do so. So yeah, these are basically some of the most commonly played pickup maps in the games. Like Gullywash, Process, Badlands. That's like the All-Star 3, basically. I'm a little bit surprised that Snakewater was banned, but maybe the Bin has just had some poor results on that. I can't quite recall.
All right, take away the picks and bans. It's time to go straight into our maps, and our first map will.
No, this is a fake.
God damn it! Every single time, Beta. Every single time. I fall for these little baits, but. All right, get those map picks back up. Just save me from my my blunder. Beta, let's get into predictions.
Yeah, all right. So we have the Bin. Of course, they have. I think they have a Merc in here for them. Is it Gandhi?
Yes.
Yeah, he's currently like Slim Shady 69 or something. So that's gonna be weird to get used to. But yeah, that's gonna be like a small hitch in the well-greased wheel that is the Bin. So like already that's just more on that makes them less favored, and already I would say Swift is heavily favored. You can see how close it actually was against 7, and the last time they played it wasn't that close either. So I'm going to just go all in on Swift and say they're just going to win like 4-2 on Gollywash, like pretty comfortably.
Now, I think we're going to see some magic tonight. I'm not just playing devil's advocate here. I truly believe that there's going to be some strange TF2 played where you get that sort of momentum in a game, and then once that momentum starts going, it kind of changes the attitude of both of these teams, and may also send SVIFT on like a tilting sort of performance. So I think the bin are actually going to win out on this map. They're going to start off very strong. They're going to win the first mid, and they're going to snowball, and then they're going to dig their heels really deep into this Gollywash map, and they're going to win the first map, and they're going to feel pretty confident for the rest of the best of 3.
Wow, yes, you can see the bins line up here on screen, and I think Gandhi is stepping in instead of Mookie, because I don't see Mookie in the server. So I think that's it. So that's kind of the wild card, gone.
Yeah, it's going to be different. Yeah, I think you got right on the money. Like, I don't think Champagne. I'm not sure if Champagne's playing this evening as well, but I guess it remains to be seen until everybody joins in on the server. But again, I think that this team has kind of been playing sort of mixed, relaxed style anyway. I haven't really been seeing much scrims coming out from this team either. And yet they still got to the place where they are right now, Beta. Just from like skill alone, from DM, from past sort of synergy that this team has sort of recycled, and just playing good at the game. So I think that can still be enough in these high-level playoff games.
Yeah, definitely. They also have a different medic, actually. It's going to be Spo or Isla. That's going to be on medic as well, so they're going to be losing out on Champagne. And missing out on having your main medic can be a surprisingly big deal sometime. It can really kind of throw you off when you're a pocket and you just jump forward and you're used to your medic being there, and then maybe just not quite on the same page. So I'm just going to fortify myself even deeper and say it's going to be 5-2 in favor of Swift.
All right, well, let's have a look at that Swift squad. Maybe there's some outlying stats that can change your mind here, Beta. We've got Connor on Medic, Smear on Demoman, Mikazien on that Pocket Soldier, Samzi and Funds will be playing that Scout class, and Chris will be that Roaming Soldier. Now, I know you mentioned some Mercs tonight, but I think that's just going to make these sort of victories for the bin just a bit more sweeter and even more bitter for Team Swift, because it's one thing losing to just a plain old team, but losing to a team with like Mercs, with like clear holes in them, downgrade you can almost say, that's got to hurt for Swift. And I can see some people on this team tilting a little bit. It happens to all of us, to the best of us, Beta. And I've seen Tilt alone go against teams and win other teams their games. So I'm still feeling pretty confident about my prediction of this Gollywash map.
All right. Well, I think just through all the sheer DM prowess and just the sheer skill of Swift alone is going to just kind of be enough to carry them through. But let's try and look at some of these matchups. So let's start with maybe the demo men. So Smear versus Ratslayer. That would probably be a pretty good place to start. I know Smear has some really good numbers. And as we can see here, Smear KD ratio is actually number 1.
Oh baby, that ain't good for my prediction there. I mean, they're getting roughly the same heals received per minute. I guess that's something right. Okay, that's nothing. Yeah. But I guess the only thing I can really cite here is the damage per minutes are quite competitive between both of them. And it goes to show like just the difference a little bit of like 30 damage can make, because you can see the 6th place belongs to Smear just by having an extra 30 damage over Ratslayer, and then that sends him up to the 9th position out of all the demo men this season that I've played. So it's close. It's close on this demo man. It's high standards for every demo man coming into the season. And I really think this season has all been about the demo man. Pardon my little pun there, but it's just, he's competitive with that damage stat. I think he might get a bit suicidal. He really lays claim to kind of going in deep with the damage and then going in these suicidal moments or plays. But if the team can follow him up, he doesn't necessarily need to find the kills there, Beta. If he's just gets the damage in and dies, and the team follow up, he's done his job.
Yeah, I will say though, like Ratslayer started out the season really strong, and then he's kind of fallen down a little bit, whereas Smear basically did the opposite, where he kind of struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season, and now he's just been absolutely beasting these last couple of games. So, just it's kind of a bit of a different trajectory that these two guys have had in their season, and there's no reason to think that the Ratslayer will not be able to kind of come back here and do some good work again. And I will note that his best games have been on Gollywatch. You know, that might be like one of the reasons why they like to play this.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. And I mean, you make an interesting point there, Beta. Is it a comparison of his Ratslayer like maybe losing his shine a little bit? Is he actually getting worse performances as the season goes along, or is everybody else just getting better, like with their work ethic or the amount of effort they're putting into the season compared to like the bin as a whole?
And that's always difficult to tell, obviously, but usually most teams just get better and better as the season goes on. But if you don't practice a whole lot and you have a bunch of mercs and you don't have that much, you don't want to play that much, you don't have that much motivation, then maybe you're just gonna kind of flatline a bit. But yeah, let's look at Samsey and Mr. Epic. These are two really good scouts. Samsey has had a great season so far, and I've been really impressed with his play. He just plays really smart, and he hits a lot of shots. But interestingly enough, we actually see Mr. Epic getting more kills per map, and slightly more depth as well. So he's more aggressive in that way.
Well, we don't have to look at the numbers anymore, Beta. We can now look at it live here on Team Fortress TV. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Is ETF2L Season 30 Premiership, sponsored by SDN Trading and Scrap.tv. It's the lower bracket final, and it's beginning here on our Gullywash map. The Bin versus SVIFT, and the first thing I see is just both teams taking their own sides, just playing it a bit defensive. Nobody really jumping out at one another, which is kind of surprising, because this is Gullywash. Usually soldiers are jumping in, taking all the attention. There's a double soldier flank coming in from Chris and Pappy, but they will kind of clothesline that medic and just jump straight out of it, and all that's left for the Bin to do is to try and go aggressive here, try and get on top of Connor. But Funz and Samsey see this coming. They prepare themselves for the battering of the soldiers, and my god, did they batter them. They took them hook, line and sinker out of the air and got the mid-cap to boot.
That soldier in the drop down was just a really key play in that middle. Just came in, got a really nice Samus, got 2 kills. Second soldier came in, just did so much work, and then Swift, there was a single scout behind lines kind of causing trouble for them. I think it was Mr. Epic, who is now playing sniper in Riverside, but he's just going to be forced back here. Not really going to get a whole lot done. So, like, as soon as they got him cleaned up, which they managed to do, the mid was completely over. We saw Bin try to move forward, but now we're just going to be left with a 100% Uber advantage. Just going to go through the door, and here we go.
And it is popped off now. They do have a sentry gun to deal with, and a pyro to actually kind of deal with the spam as well. He will actually be cut off from his own exit. He actually sets Smear alight before he rotates back to his scout position, and they're doing quite well with this Uber so far. They've forced Smear to commit in. He's gone down, and Funz will claim the frag that claimed the Smear kill, and they're just playing it slow here. Hopefully all these heals from Isla is pumping enough sort of backbone into Crafty to make sure he can just keep himself alive for the slow game that Swift are trying to play here.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it actually worked out as well as it did, because they got the Uber out of him eventually, but they did kind of mess up the push there. They didn't get the demo man at all during that entire push, and then they couldn't put any pressure onto the point, and they didn't get any real kills. They only took like one side of it, and so everyone else just kind of pulled on the other side. So we have a soldier trade right here, but that will stunt any kind of push out coming out. And we're going to have round 2 going into this last, see if they can cap it out.
Yep, it's a different push, and it's a different doorway. They go in from lower, and they try to push Funz straight onto the point and kind of stick it up. The classic, and the classics work, Peter. We sometimes keep changing the rule book, but it's just better just to stick with the classics.
Yeah, indeed. And this time around, they actually got a scout underneath, come up onto the point and put a ton of pressure on it, and just no one from the bin was able to get onto it. And even if they would have been able to get onto it in time, they probably would have just jumped into a bunch of stickies. So just checkmate, basically, on that push from Swift.
And the midpoint, let's see if they can adapt a bit better. The bin, they were caught off by the huge flank, and God, Chris has been launched this straight into the air. Craters down to the ground, but while they were busy all looking up into the sky, the rest of Swift were farming all the players from different angles. You see Pappy coming from the drop down again, the scouts taking them from the front, and they're just being a little bit manhandled on this point. There's no real sort of focus fire from this team. I think there was too many turns heads onto Chris as well, so can't really even call Chris's death a poor death.
Yeah, it was definitely not a waste. That is a lot of what a Roman needs to do in fights in general, and especially in middles, is to just turn heads and make everyone look back and look up and not move forwards. And so that when you walk the rest of your team forward, you just do that without contesting. It's going to actually be a soldier in Riverside trying to get this Uber out. It's Ubers, fittingly enough, but there's going to be an Uber on last for them to deal with.
Yeah, Uber's taking the fight with Samsey, but they still go in the Uber, with the Uber over on Swift despite this, and they're just clearing the right-hand side again, playing it slowly on this class. They will take out Ratslayer by jumping in Pappy behind, avoiding those stickies, and he's laying down some point pressure as well. He might be backed up by Smear, and Smear would usually cover his boy with some stickies, but he's been injured, sent to the lower water side, and he will actually finish off this cap, and nobody's there to block him. They were all distracted by the leftover scouts of Swift, and it's an easy 2-0 for them.
I don't know how much Isla actually healed up the demo with nothing but arrows on that last push, but it was like in the order of 500 health or something. Absolutely disgusting. But eventually just Fun just ran in there, and he's not going to miss a heavy, that's for sure. It's going to be an easy 2-0 here. Just kind of rolling and vindicating my prediction, but let's see if they can actually mix it up in this middle.
Yeah, I'd like to see some sort of change or adaptation here. Maybe just go aggressive. If someone's flanking you so much, that sort of flank takes time, but they will get the Ubers killed to start off with. That's a big name for this bin squad. Chris comes in and blindsides the scouts, even gets like a suicide damage onto the Demo Man and Scout pair. It's just Isla left, and I think she's going to go down. She's being juggled. Oh, Connor's got a saw. I hope you've got your t-shirt on, Beta.
Oh, he's got the binds ready, that's for sure. Yeah, that was pretty cool. He's just kind of walking on heads, but yeah, really strong middle. I actually thought that the bin had a chance there because they wasted a lot of time trying to kill out the demo, and the demo was down to like 5 HP or something, but they just barely couldn't get him. But then, as soon as the bin walked over the point, they just had both soldiers collapse onto it just from the sides, just splash people on the point. So, just once again, they just win out this middle. So, looking really strong so far.
It's another push, and it's another sentry gun. Craft, they won't even stick with the sentry gun for long. They actually rotate the engineer out just to get it built onto the other side. This is a strange tactic coming out from Mon, and you can see why it never comes out like that, Peter. It's just takes too damn long to get that sentry like rebuilt and in a state where it's shooting at people, and because of all that, there was no real backbone to this defense. It's 3-0.
Yeah, Smear just completely crushed that last push. He was doing so much damage, like 500 damage or something completely insane. So Smear is definitely hitting his stride there, and every time we just see Ratslayer, he's always the last one to die, so he's doing a pretty good job of staying alive, but at the end of the day, it's just not enough. You know, he needs more help to hold this last point.
Yeah, I really didn't like that play from Mr. Epic where he switched the sentry gun around, but it's starting off much better for the bin actually. They've scattered to all 4 corners of this mid, and they're doing a much better job of actually collapsing in on the rest of Swift here, and good God, Ratslayer has heard your words. He has picked up his game, and he is getting damage out and some kills to boot, and with 2 scouts and a demo man left, they will lay claim to this mid.
They got a scout to deny the soldier coming up out of the drop down, and that did a really good job of actually just equalizing it. As we see Ratslayer in a lot of trouble. He might just crater. Yep, he's just going to jump down into his own death. It's a bit unfortunate. He just ran out there without the rest of his team. So now there's going to be a lot more difficult to come out here and get a push on to second. So a bit of a misstep here from Ratslayer. Maybe got a little bit too excited after they win this mid. But it is even Ubers. I don't think there's any crit streaks or anything special like that. See Chris trying to make a play and he is gonna probably get picked off. Yeah, there you go. Mr. Epic just gonna run in there, follow up on the damage by his soldiers. And it's actually, oh yeah, look at that. Gandhi is in there. Slim Shady 69 doing some work.
Yeah, with the Demo Man down, they can effectively, oh god, Ratslayer just turns the corner. Goodbye, Pappy. See you later, kid, as they're entering second point now. Funds is kind of overrun with 2 scouts to deal with. He can kill one, but he can't seem to kill the other. And Ratslayer is doing a much nicer job of keeping himself alive and getting some kills as well. So they're going to get the second point, and they even got an Uber charge ready for last, but Connor's kept himself alive to make sure that there's no major attack.
And it's even Ubers, so I'm kind of wondering how they're going to try and break this. You know, normally you just send in like a soldier through Riverside or on the balcony, something like that. I think the best way to do it is to try to send someone into water, like a scout into water, and then have a soldier come in. But soldier's going to jump in there, gets a nice...
Oh, the drop onto Connor! You knew it, I knew it! It was always going to happen with a game with Connor. And it is... I hope you've got your little bingo cards out, ladies and gentlemen. You've got your first 3 square on this Swift bingo as they're now coming in with their Uber. Mr. Epic is taking 1 kill. He's taking 2 kills. He wants a 3rd kill. They will intercept that kill. There's only one sort of defense left on this. It's the soldier. And Smear is kind of checked out at this last point. They're just playing it slow because they know Smear can't contribute to the fight. Someone's going to have to tank the stickies though. Somebody, anybody, Ubers will be that one. And there we go. The round is on the board for the bin. And I'm so excited because this isn't supposed to happen, Beta.
Yeah, this was just a roll game, right? It was an easy game. They were just kind of going through the motions right now. Swift, they were going to win no matter what, or so they thought at least, but no. Now we have a game. It just only took Connor getting dropped by a soldier and then picked off by a medic on the subs when he respawned as well. So now it's anyone's game here, 3-1 favor Swift.
Sadly, Gandhi will be isolated and controlled really straight off the bat, but a massive flank coming in from Ubers has picked up the slack of that. Ratslayer is starting to feel himself with these pipes. Will duck down because he's starting to lose this fight against Funds. Funds chases him down into the low ground, however, and with just Crafty left, he's going to have to make some really crafty plays if he wants to come back from this. Chris is very low and Funds is in sort of one-shot territory, but Chris just outsmarts the boy with those splash rockets, gets the clean-up kill, and they will secure the mid.
Yeah, that was a really great aggression coming out from both teams, and just Swift eventually slowly edging them out there. But that was a very close middle, so that's a pretty good job there. And Mr. Epic has actually switched to Sniper, so we're going to see the first little taste here of Mr. Epic's Sniper, seeing if he can do any kind of magic. Normally you see the Sniper going into big door, and there's actually a soldier in there.
There's a scout behind as well. They didn't spot this scout that kind of weaseled his way in. And
I think they know. Yeah, Mr. Epic, he was looking for him, but he just finds the other scout, and now they've picked off both of them. So that's a really great start. That's going to mean that they can get so much space, and they're actually just going to walk through the choke.
Yeah, and Ubers to take care of... Oh, Connor's gone down again. Ubers is just taking the man fight. Smear will do a nice little sort of sticky carpet bomb onto the floor there to make sure you can't really chase him with that skill stick. And with 3 players left to kind of overwhelm poor Slim Shady, he will go back to the death queue with the rest of his squad, and they will get away with the second point despite the messy sort of introduction.
Yeah, Chris doing a lot of work right there. Crafty also lagged out a bit, so that was unfortunate for it. But it looks like everyone else has just been pushed back onto last. Ubers are pretty even. It's going to be very difficult to actually do anything like as far as Ubers go. But you know, we've seen. I've actually noted that Ubers is playing Roamer right now, while Gandhi is playing Pocket. So that's kind of interesting. That's sort of a reversal of what we're used to seeing out of Ubers himself. So we have a pause coming in here. It might be because of Crafty or something. You know, we just saw him lag out and get killed by Chris, kind of fueling his 7-kill streak. But currently, also, if we look at it, we can see Samsy's in a bit of a pickle here. Like one good rocket here from Gandhi, and he's gonna go down. So, well, it's a pretty cool place to be paused, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of different scenarios we can kind of break down here. Chris has his eyes firmly placed on top of Chris as well, so they could turn this around here, and I don't really see any sort of players from the bin that could back up Gandhi in this sort of lobby area, unless there's like a swift turnaround between one of these players, Mr. Epic or Ubers. But Samsey, if he plays this smart, which he is a smart scout, smarter than the average bear, he will survive this sort of encounter. But we'll see. It is. Let's have a look at the Ubers. It's just 29%, 38% between both of these. It's kind of even, really. I think both teams will have the respect to one another to kind of build these out to 100, not really try and push the issue at all. But yeah, so 3-1. Well, it's probably 17 minutes left on the clock now due to the pause, but I hope this doesn't mean what I think it means, Vito. And usually we see these pauses straight after a round has been capped out, and I mean, it looks like SVIFT are on the back foot here. They look like they're going to lose a round any second now.
Yeah, I don't know. You can pause it a lot of times. I think you just need like a stalemate to occur, right, for a pause to happen. You know, that's kind of the common courtesy that you give. That you don't have like an active push or an active DM fight or anything. It's just kind of like whenever you slow down and just sit and choke and just spam out, then that's when you pause. So hopefully that's the case here, and it doesn't give away anything about what the actual scoreline is or who capped or anything. And it is a minute and 30 seconds into the future, I believe. So, you know, that's a lot of time, and you know, like, it would be enough time for Ubers to come in here into play, and people can drop, and we can get a re-push out. So it's like a second to the third hole. So yeah, lots of opportunities here. You can actually see, I think it's Chris on top of those stairs, right? But there are two stickies kind of holding him back, because like he wants to jump down onto Gandhi for sure, and then there's of course also the demo man that wants to walk in there. So it should be pretty interesting to see. There's actually no demo man watching those stickies, not very well, like very long range.
Yeah, he is so far away. He could just shoot a rocket at the floor and definitely reconnect out to his scout buddy. But again, he's on that side. He can only guess where that demo man could be. You see two stickies, you can assume that demo man's not far from the fight. But
yeah, actually, he's actually really far away, but he does have a sightline onto it, so like he can actually dead them.
Yeah, but what soldier in their right mind is just going to walk over stickies like that? Surely they would just shoot at the ground just to make sure.
Yeah, they're so easy to actually splash away. And they'll just like fly down onto the low ground, so that's almost certainly what's going to happen.
Man, it's a long pause. Usually, we were talking about how this is such a difficult game for the bin, and we're thinking that maybe they might go through the motions and sort of they'll obviously try their best, but it's very hard for them to kind of get results here. But they've managed to pluck one round against SVIFT versus them on their own map pick, so to speak. So do you think this has sort of motivated them a bit more? Maybe they realize, okay, we need to make sure the conditions are very nice for everybody on our team. We're even going to commit a pause just to kind of set up our network correctly, kind of scream at our mum and dads to stop downloading movies on Netflix and just really commit 100% to this playoff game. Or is lag just not fun to play with, no matter what sort of state you're playing the TF2 game in?
Oh, it's just lag is the worst. Like the best part about going to LAN is that you don't have lag. And not just like zero ping, but just also like there's always some small issues with the internet. At least with mine, it just like gives you small jitters, or like it's not always the same amount of delay, or there's just like random lag outs and that kind of stuff. So, but I think like definitely you gain a lot of just motivation and just kind of rekindles your spirits basically to get around like this, right? Because it was all looking really bad. And then immediately also after they got that round, you can see them, they just started playing a lot better. Like mid-fights got closer, and just they started winning some fights.
Yeah. You saw players like Ratslayer really feeling the confidence in their own sort of skills or DM. Like you saw Ratslayer taking on these like pretty crafty plays himself, where he was going around the corner just shooting a couple of pipes, seeing if he can get a quick duo pipe kill onto somebody, and usually for someone that's going through the motions, they'll just kind of sit back, look at do the stickies, just keep reloading those stickies. Though, stick with the reliable damage. Not really risk anything, but Rat Slayer's really taking risks here, and I like it.
Do you think Mr. Epic is going to run up and maybe shoot Chris in the back? Because Chris is obviously, he's got his eyes on Gandhi, and then Mr. Epic's going to run up to Riverside, right? Could that be a thing, maybe?
I can definitely see Chris being sidetracked and just like committing 100% to dealing with this with the Gandhi kill. But my question is whether or not Gandhi will survive long enough for the backup of Mr. Epic to come from this flank. And even then, what's stopping from Gandhi from shouting Mr. Epic over to come to lobby instead and deal with the scout lower? Could be a lot of paths on this sort of choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, like obviously, definitely the best course of action right here would be to get someone to go through main and try to kill the scout there, and then while Gandhi is just kind of shutting off, like he's going towards the shutter, because that would also get him away from Chris if he walks that way in.
I mean, we talked about all this plays from Chris and Samsey, but we never really brought Smear into the fight. I mean, he's literally a door away from Gandhi. He can just pop his head in for a moment and get a quick pipe onto him, maybe even just take the fight on his own.
It's probably going to be really difficult to actually sticky Gandhi though, because you can see it's like a slope down, and Smear's going to be like trying to shoot down that slope, and that's really difficult to hit with stickies.
Oh, do you think he's going to chase? Do you think Gandhi's going to chase into lower?
I absolutely think he's going to chase.
Yeah, I guess it could work, because the only exit that Samsey has is in that main doorway, which is where most of his team could probably find that kill on Samsey, so at best it will be a trade.
Yeah, like, I don't know, it just seems like walking in towards Samsey is just the best option, right? Because if Samsey just like runs into him, it's just a guaranteed kill immediately, right? You just trade, easy peasy. At the same time, you walk away from Smear, you walk down that hallway, so that means that it's going to be very difficult to hit stickies because of the slope, and also you get away from Chris, and then you have like a shot of maybe getting out through the other way, or maybe jumping behind or something, right? So at least it will delay your own death if you chase, I think. So I think that's the smart move, but we're probably just over-analyzing it.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever gone into such analysis of a pause, sort of play-by-play, like really going through every single play that could happen. And maybe with the long elongated pause, we can kind of take a step back, Beta, maybe start theorizing just TF2 in general from a more broad spectrum, because the players are giving us the time of day. So let's I want to talk more about a what-if scenario about the season, and specifically the bin, just to make it relevant. Now, do you think if this team started off the season with like an actual practice schedule, the players they initially wanted, and just all the things working out for them, and they didn't have all the sort of slip-ups that they had going into this season, do you think they would have beat a team like SVIFT?
I don't think they would have, but I think it would have been a lot closer. Like, at least the last time these two teams played, it wasn't that close, and it just kind of felt like at some point the bin just kind of gave up and started throwing. And I don't know, that has kind of been their thing the entire season, where like they can play pretty well, but then at some point it just feels like they're not being serious enough, and they just kind of start throwing. Like any Mookie team has always felt kind of like that. But yeah, it seems like a no-brainer that, oh my god, we're alive, and he is actually going to chase in there, and he will not be able to find him, so Sam's just going to run around him, and we actually do see Mr. Epic, who just kind of got called back. So, man, I'm just happy we're back in this.
Damn it, every single time I ask like a very weighted question, the players then decide to come back. I wanted to start a podcast and everything, so... Rat Slayer, however, will find the kill onto Samsey after it's all said and done. The boy who lived ended up dying in the end anyway. So, with both of these teams kind of playing it plainly on this, between their last point and their second point, both teams will have an uber charge to play with. So, kind of interested to see what SVIFT come up with, because gentleman's code, if you've got that enemy team on last, you kind of want to strike them before they can strike you.
Yeah, and oh yeah, you can see Crafty. He's lagging real bad. He's just warping around us. You actually see Mr. Epic. He's on Spy, and he actually spots the sniper in main. So that has been called out.
Yeah, he's actually been called out himself. Gets killed on that Spy class, and just as he decloaks and disguises as well. They're capping.
Sword on point.
Yeah, Chris will get cleaned up, but he's done so much cap time now. They're feeling a lot of pressure just from this one scout alone. And Mickey's Yen just knocks off that one soldier from his perch, and they've capped the round. Is what I feared. They did cap that round in the next 90.
You called that one perfectly. So here comes all the pausing. And I'm just wondering, will we get another Merc in here, or is it just Crafty?
Wow. Okay. Well, they put Crafty onto Medic, or no? This can't be right, surely.
Well, Isla's definitely onto it. So.
Well, there you go. All right, Isla is on Soldier now. We're just going to have to accept it and move on. And Swift are like, okay, this is going to be the easiest mid of our lives, as they're just trying to find the players. Crafty is, I think, still back in the spawn way. Well, I think Crafty might go down in the spawn as well. He's so low, and he gets like the worst time to play, where he gets the elongated spawn, and he was just outside of his spawn door. He can't sting any worse as a medic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the worst possible thing that can happen. We see Mr. Epic actually in Riverside. He's going to try and see if he can get any kind of picks. But, you know, Connor, he's got a full Uber ready to go here. And they do actually lose Samsey here on this push, so that's going to mean it's going to be more difficult to actually put pressure onto the point. Losing scouts before is always a really sketchy deal. And you're going to lose a demo man as well. Wow.
Wow. This is amazing coming out from the bin here. I'm just absolutely shocked. I've already had my camera perched in the last point, ready for this push to happen, but everyone just fell around them between the sniper and the sort of the flank play as well, the synchronized spam rockets. Ubers even gets a kill to Chris, who was trying to make a play, so it's coming all up the bin on this round, it seems.
Yeah, they're going to take second easily here. There's a sniper on Swift. I think that's Samsey. Yep, he's just lining up those body shots, waiting for people to walk into it. And it is an Uber advantage in favor of the bin. So they are going to go in through choke, it looks like. Well, they're kind of going to try to kind of distract in the big door, and then they're going to walk in through choke, I think.
Yep, and Samsey, he was looking at the wrong doorway before they've entered in fight as well, then not the ground anymore. Well, they've almost got the Uber charge back on Connor now, but Smear is caught in no man's land. Will get an arrow for his commit the Uber in to save Private Smear, and both teams will pop off their Uber. Connor pleading to his team to start chasing forward, but it's quite even Ubers, and I can see why they're a bit scared of on the bin to commit here, because they've got the respawner disadvantage. Going to be more of those spawners coming in quicker from Team Swift, as they're already kind of collapsing on second point now. They're going to leave one player behind and maybe think about pushing out here. It's going to be hard. They have got the sniper still in Samsey, and he's not a great pusher class, but they'll try and make it work. Funds goes in solo, and he will go down. Smear kind of baits out Isla with a...
Oh, Mr. Epic gets the medic though. Just plus forwards into him and gets him. Crafty has kind of had another disconnect, reconnect thing going on, so it's going to be kind of
Smear, he's on the point, he's sticking up the point, he's piping the air, and he gives them no option to defend here. It's a 5th round, and it's a dirty round for Team Swift.
Yeah, it's very sneaky, and this is why you use the pain train. You can just walk onto the points, and before they can even react, you just cap it out. And obviously, as a demo man, you just have a bunch of stickies. So it's going to make it even more difficult to go in. So that's going to make it 5-1. I just want to point out that I predicted 5-2. So Bin's going to get another round easy.
It's match point here for Team Swift. They can make the Mercy Rule arrive here in this Gullywash map, but they're having a tough time of actually defeating the core of Bin Gaming. Spuns is going to make the flank around onto Ratslayer now. Chris even backs him up, but it's a nice play off the damage by Mr. Epic, and he's killing them one by one. There's just one last survivor. He will get the last rocket onto Crafty. We'll see you in the spawn queue, as they've got no medic to kind of continue this round with.
I think I have some HUD issues, or there's just 2 Crafties in the server.
Oh yes, well I'll be damned. They actually do have 2 crafties in the server.
I think this is sometimes happens when players like pauses and people rejoining and that kind of stuff. You can show the wrong name for a while. I definitely remember like Captain joining instead of Medico at some point, and just said Medico, but then later on it turns out to be Captain. But yeah, it's I don't know their avatar, so I can't quite say.
Well, Crafty's done it. He's the first person to actually clone himself in a game of TF2 and just play every single class. If Banny could have seized this technology, maybe it would be an easy game of TF2 for him for the rest of his days. But as they will continue, despite the cloning accident, and things are getting a bit messy here in this midpoint of Gullywash Beta, as the time kind of drags along and the hopes dwindle away. But Bin Gaming been a bit sloppy on both sides, and when things get sloppy, they revert back to their primal states, almost like the MGE lords come out. And what bigger MGE lord do we have than Ubers, who will continue to take another fight? It's MG second.
Yeah, add Golly too. I don't know. I don't think that's an arena. Why not? It's obviously needed. It's Poppy versus Ubers. Yeah, Ubers hit some really nice rockets there in middle to win those fights. It's a good job by him. And I'm pretty sure Isla is medic again.
Okay.
Like at least when I look in spawn and I do. No, he's on. No, he's still on scout. I think. I don't know.
I do prefer the idea of just Crafty just on the server twice. You know, he's just that good. He's like a dual monitor setup, a Kimbo TF2. Just playing with one of each hand. They're just trying to really force it here, Swift, from this big door area, and they're getting absolutely mulched. I can't believe they've got no respect for the Bin Gaming. It's still TF2 after all. The choke is still going to be a choke, and it's going to be hard to get past those soldiers and scouts all spamming at the same 2 centimeters of space. And they will go down just like any other team. They're on the back foot here over on Swift Gaming.
Yeah, luckily for them, they got their medic out. So Connor, he's going to have a full Uber. And actually, he's taking a lot of damage in lobby right now. So that means that Uber should be in kind of dire straits. And yeah, there we go. A lot of players going down. And that's going to just delay things. And you know, Swift, they want to delay things. But the sentry going down, that's a good start. And it's actually a scout in water. It's going to come up here and pressure the point. And that's going to just be a distraction for the soldier comes in. And he couldn't quite get onto the medic because of the heavy, but good play overall, I think.
It's a real shame because they got smearing.
Medic's alone up top, completely alone. How did this happen? He was just left alone and had to pop. Well, that's disaster.
And Rat Slayer's just gone down for it as well, trying to meet up with his medic, and she's not there. Has to go down to the funds push out. He's already capping second as well, right under their noses, and as they're maybe going for a backcap play, but usually to backcap somebody you have to get in sneakily, but Mr. Epic just goes through the fire and flames, walks past everybody, excuse me, pardon me, gets to the last point and goes down anyway. Real shame, real shame.
Did you see what Gandhi did? He was just hiding up top, and then when Funds was just standing still in the point, he just sniped him. Just because he was standing still, he hadn't seen him at all. That was a fun little kill. That's gonna leave us with the Bin actually looking poised to go in here and then put on some pressure and trying to see if they can get Connor to part with Super either through death or by being intimidated enough. But we'll see. Actually, he's gonna see Gandhi go down as the first one.
I mean, and they could go in with the Uber here, Beta. I'm pretty sure they should know that they have the Uber advantage, but they didn't really push out when they saw them in lobby there. They saw the medic as well, so they should have him dead to rights, and they've isolated Ubers in this low position. Smear has locked down the door and thrown away the key, but Ubers has found another doorway. When one door closes, another opens, Beta, and he actually finds a way. Smear will take out Gandhi, who was pressuring him from this lower area. They have actually pushed out from the top as well and kind of crushed them from behind. Ubers is still alive and kicking with Champagne. Oh, Champagne was our mystery name. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this finally after the 10-minute
surprise.
Pause, yeah, everything's back to normal now. So yeah, I actually have a HUD to look at. Nice. Funds just ran in, by the way, and just did a million damage, just out DM'd a soldier with full heals. That was pretty impressive. Ubers was just caught in banana. He's gonna get taken down. And exactly a spy, but oh, the soldier landed on his head. Oh, That's unfortunate. I've never seen that happen. Literally standing on his head, just Goombaing him while he was cloaked. But Mr. Everett will find a kill.
Yeah, but he gets killed by Pappy holding close to the door as well. Chris is coming in from behind, gets two blindsiding rockets onto Ratslayer, and with his death, this probably gives up the second point for... Oh, they're just still pushing it. I can't believe they're still pushing it on the bin. They just really want to get this Uber out of the way at this point of the game. Who cares how many players it costs? Crafty's really making a good go of these 2v1 scout fights, but he will go down nonetheless. They will cap out that second point. That just took so goddamn long to cap, and they've got all these players left alive. They can probably all start rushing the last point from any door that they please, and Ratslayer is being slain in Sen, and there we go. He will be cleaned up with that Demo Man down. The point is for free just about, and the Mercy has been given 6-1, and the game is over.
Yeah, that kind of just turned real weird. I don't know if it was just because it didn't have a HUD, but just eventually Swift was just too strong and just took that. It took them a little bit longer than it might have needed to, because it looked like they were really just on a roll at some point, you know. But eventually they just kind of won 3 rounds in quick succession 2 times in a row, and they got the map. And that was their map pick, right?
Yeah.
I believe it was, yes.
That was Swift's map pick, and we're going on to the bins now, which should be process. But I guess before we can get into the thick of that, we probably should look at the logs for that Gully Wash map. And God, it just sucks, Peter. I mean, not just because I'm incorrect on my prediction, but it felt like the bin were feeling a bit happy. You know, they got 1 round. They felt some joy in the TF2 lives, and it was just taken away from them by the shunting stop of lag.
Yeah, it always sucks when one of your players is having some lag issues. Yeah, but you just got to deal with it. There's not really a whole lot else to do. But yeah, I'm looking at some logs. I'm sure they'll be up on screen soon. No, they are already. Cool. Alright, and the first thing I noticed is, of course, that Chris was just doing so much work, like top damaging as a roamer. That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's Gully Wash for you. This map caters to the roaming soldier. He thrives off it. This would be his natural habitat if he could settle down, because it's just a great map to roam on. So many sort of corners and sort of opportunities you can play. You can kind of get behind, do these sort of fast rollouts. You've got a whole lower area, which is almost like your destination every single time on mid. It gives you so many places you can attack from. 4-3 really makes it a difficult job for scouts to deal with you. It is truly a playground, and I can definitely see why Chris and Ubers were having a good time on that map.
Yeah, Poppy did really well as well. 23 and 11. That's very good. It's kind of you see Chris has more depths and more kills, so a lot more aggressive as a roamer would be. And then Samsey had a strong game as well, and Funds. Oh, Funds, yeah. He has like a 2 KD. It's good stuff.
That's quite rare for in Gully Wash, but I'm gonna say this is a freebie. This is a while the bin was adjusting, just trying to get their lag under control, decide which medic they're going to play with as well. So they're well warmed up now. This is their scrim, because remember, these guys don't scrim. This is sort of their pseudo scrim, and this is kind of cool. You don't see the medic thing break down into 3 sections, do you?
So which medic do you prefer, I guess is what this is about. This doesn't work very well. It was not built for this overlay.
Contestant number 1, why should we pick you to be the medic of the bin? What's your favourite activity to do?
Well, Champagne says, I like healing Ubers very much. He is much better to heal than Crafty, because Crafty's lagging. So therefore, Isla is wrong. Pick me, says Champagne. Yeah.
Okay, contestant number 2, what is your most preferred stat of them all? If you had to pick one stat as a medic, what would be your choice?
Oh, it's definitely going to be heals per minute, right? Like, that's the most important part. Like, you want to have more heals per minute. And that is, Isla, you know, got way better heals per minute there. And got the same amount of Uber, so that's just superior in every way.
Oh, sorry, contestants, we are out of time. It's time to say goodbye, and this has been your episode of That's Medics. See, my God, Gem, you've got. Okay, we're going into our next map. It's Process, and they did decide to stick with the Champagne Medic. So contestant number 1 is going on a holiday trip to the green areas and of Process's SVIFT, and the bin are facing off here on this middle, trying to just kind of coerce the bin from this sort of low ground area. They're not really dying to say they've got all the high ground on Swift and kind of raining fire and hell and pellets at them. They're still holding their ground, and as they actually try and inch forward thinking they've got a decent chance of this, they're just getting smushed. And oh god, here's the massive Mikazian flank around. Crafty gets a kill onto Samzi, fighting back at least, but that was a very long mid to say how much disadvantage the bin had there, Dieter.
Yeah, just the scouts kind of won some 1v1 fights. Actually, like a whole lot of 1v1 fights, it almost felt like on that middle. And just the fact that Smear just managed to win that 1v1 fight kind of snowballed out of control, and then the scouts did some really good work. You see, Demo Man is so weak here. Ratzler actually manages to get out alive. I said that as he died. So this is just looking really strong, but they did manage to ring, to just get the Uber out of them here, but they might just have lost too many players here, and the bin, they could just get overrun.
Yeah, they were in though, and oh, Mikazian with some nice rockets cleaning up Gandhi, and they've already got some sort of pressure onto point. Well, they would do if they actually capped the second point a bit quicker. It's a bit delayed, and they finally get onto the last point now, and I guess they just wanted to make it hard for themselves, but they make it look so easy. 1-0 to Team Swift.
That was a real crushing round for sure. Just managing a bit of an overextension there by the bin to try and hold on to second point when they probably had no business in trying to do so. Or at least it got away from them pretty quickly. A very fast roll here from Smear though.
Oh my god. Well, there was a rat on this. He has been exterminated. So with a demo man down for the bin squad, this should be an incredibly hard mid to kind of salvage here, but damn, if they're giving it a shot, most teams just pick out immediately, but that is not a motto in the playbook of the bin gaming, as they're just headlong straight into the Swift squad and getting killed one by one. They do lose Chris, but that's a necessary casualty in war, as they're going to get that midpoint, probably get the second as well. They will keep Ratslayer alive compared to the first
Mr.
round.
Epic? Oh, I thought he was just about to go on some heroic spree. Not quite able to find it.
Oh, he's coming. Wants to go back out, but every time he enters the fight, he loses half of his health, and he calls the boys in and trying to make the plays onto them now. Mikazian will get blindsided by Mr. Epic and his flank. Connor was forced to use his Uber there, and Champagne has also used her Uber just so he doesn't feel so left out. I don't see why that medic Uber was used, but they've used it nonetheless. So they've got the second point back. This is a victory. I mean, albeit a small one.
Why Ubers? You saw those. Okay, I don't get it. But anyway, that's going to be a soldier down. Maybe he just thought he wouldn't get them or something. You know, you can actually jump through, but looks like Poppy's going to jump in here trying to get some distractions out of the way. But now there's going to be a big bomb onto the medic. He's being just jockled by scouts. Poor Gandhi in the skybox, just getting taken down. Mr. Epic was in behind, actually doing a lot of work for them, but then Samsey came in return.
Oh my,
wow.
Look at these scouts, they've just linked up, they've become one, and now they're going to kill everything they can. Oh, Ubers tries to go for the air shot onto Pappy, but Pappy will dodge it, and it looks slightly better for Bing Gaming there. They got the early kill onto Smear, which is usually a pretty big kill. Gandhi will come back as the heavy weapons guy, hoping that enough force and damage will kind of lay back the enemy team, but it's just not enough. He isn't fast enough to block that point in time as well. So 2-0. It's looking quite easy for Swift so far.
Let's hope Ratslayer doesn't get completely demolished this time around.
Yeah.
He just got like one sticky, and then a soldier just came in and one
Smear
shot
is
one
here
rocket
really early. He's denied him the health pack, so Ratslayer is going to have to wait at the medic stop here for his shot. And He's actually just going to get healed up instead. There's a lot of attention put onto Ratslayer, but not too much pressure kind of being pushed onto him either. So they want to instead go for these smaller classes, Ubers on the soldiers, the scouts as well, and nobody really wants to push the line except maybe Chris, and Chris doesn't need any backup. He's just taking them one after the other. He is the foundations and he is the building, Christopher. And MickAZM will actually control this medic, keeping her alive, and the longer she lives, the worse these prospects. Oh no! The bind. There's the bind. Got a saw. Every time he gets a saw, I hear someone buys a t-shirt from their store.
Yes, I don't know what Gandhi was doing there. He's gonna go out there. There's even a Mr. Epic spy. He's gonna need to get like the 5K of his life. He does not. And this is just, they're just toying with them at this point. That mid was all Chris, by the way. Like, he jumped so much around, took up so much attention, and then eventually just killed so many players and did a ton of damage as well. Usually you have to pick one or two of those, but he did everything.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Beta. Usually a Roma just picks like one job. He's either finishing kills, he's getting damage out, he's either distracting or he's flanking. Chris was doing all five of them. It was really strange to see, and it was switching between them so quickly. I don't know where he finds all the health. He must have some sort of health in his back pocket or something like that. Anyway, we're on to a fourth mid. It's going quite quick here in this process map. And Chris, he's been controlled. Mr. Epic has finally found the killing silver bullet, and it is on the sniper class, and allows the scouts to actually bite back. Be free, my scouts. Be free from the menace of Chris and just having to deal with it.
I really like just mixing it up there, running a sniper to mid. It's one of those things where if you don't expect it, you'll very often just play right into it. You could see Chris doing it there. You know, he wasn't playing as if there was a sniper that could pick him off, and as a result, he got picked off by the sniper, and it's going to mean that everyone has to, or it means that Swift has to just give up mid and second here, and that's going to just leave us into this pretty nice situation where they can actually do another comeback attempt, you know, maybe make it 1-3 once again. But currently they're just playing around the sniper, trying to see if they can get Mr. Epic some daylight to maybe drop Connor here.
Well, they have plenty of time. They've got 22 minutes left on the clock. Mr. Epic will open with a strong frag, and that's just going to give him more confidence on this sniper class. I'm switching to the Mr. Epic cam now, and they know which door he wants to push from. It's from that long sort of closed door. MickAZM will actually close the line and close line him. So Samzy actually gets the counter snipe going as well. Gets the pick onto Crafty, and this is going to switch the other way now. Samzy's going to start feeding off that confidence. Actually, he's gone back to scout.
Maybe he wants to try to push out a little bit, but nah, that can't be right, because they have a sentry and still up. And I quite like having a sentry like this when you have a medic that plays pretty far forward, because you can either play it really far forward, the way you see Swift doing right now, or you can kind of place your medic all the way back in the bunker, you know. But the thing about this forward position is that you can just have a sort of walk around the corner, right, or scout, and then they can just shoot the medic. But having a sentry and a dispenser there makes it a lot more difficult.
Oh, Gandhi's got an interesting proposition for Funds here, but sadly Funds is playing the engineer class, can't take the 1v1 with Gandhi over in any part of the map, so he's just going to have to wait around like a good boy. They can actually clean up this sentry gun. It's very low, and just needs like one final shot into it to kind of get the kill.
Well, they do get, at least both Ubers have gone out of the way right now, and this is actually looking really good for the bin.
The point is free. The point is free. No one's standing on the point, and there we go. Funds gets cleaned up. He's just one man. He's just a scout, the lightest of all the classes, and pushed away. 3-1 is the score, and I don't know, Beta. I've been fooled once into the comeback. I think I'm going to have to see a second round if they're going to fool me again.
It was really weird play there by Swift as well. Sam just kind of ran out through the rollout and just died, as you probably ought to do there in that kind of situation. So a bit too aggressive there by Swift, and they're going to pay for it with a round.
Yeah, let's see how they approach this mid this time. They are sticking with the sniper still, so I can see why they want to posture themselves a bit passive, and all that Swift will do is just kind of rotate round to the left hand side, use the main sort of crate area to block that sight line and get the nice sort of flank and jumps on top of the Bing Gaming. So looking very good for Swift here. Very nice adaptation from them.
They're not going to get fooled twice by that sniper rollout. You know, you could see they were expecting it. They weren't just standing up top and waiting to get the body shot, so they just jumped in and sorted really aggressively. They stuck to the left side and just moved in onto them. I think this is one of the things that I talked about with them about the last time around, because they were facing a lot of snipers on middle, on process, and how they would adapt to that. And they just said basically what you saw here: you just stick to the left, and then just jump in really aggressively, try to put pressure on them.
They've got the sentry gun on, but it gets cleaned up very quickly by Smear, who has the Uber charge that has led with that, and they will kind of hold on this left-hand side for the Bing Gaming, but they're going to have to get off of their perch and try and defend that last point, and there's just too many red people to deal with. Oh, couldn't say it better myself, Happy. Ends the round with a air shot on that last point. 4-1.
Yeah, that was a really clean round there. That's definitely how you kill some hope. You know, like just letting them know that no, you can't come back here. That's actually a really crucial round here for Swift. Just really kind of give the idea that no, you guys can't come back. So a pretty fast rollout here from Wrestler, but he's taking so much damage.
He's so low, he needs the crossbow, it doesn't come in time. He stands still patiently to kind of telegraph to Champagne, I need the crossbow here, now, needed, but it doesn't come. As they're pushed into a corner here on Bing Gaming, and they're being plucked from each side. Chris is hitting them from the left, and Samsy's hitting them from the right. They try and jump into the air, but the scouts mush them back down again. It's just carnage here on the midpoint, Peter.
Yeah, just losing your demo man like that is just so annoying, right? Because you just died to basically spam. And Wrestler's actually being pretty aggressive here. He has to be careful. He can just get picked off if someone goes behind him to one of the other entrances, but it looks like he will be fine. But, you know, that might not be the case when the full Uber advantage comes rolling into last here, when they have to deal with that.
Well, they've got the Uber charge advantage over on Swift, and it's just really looking at the watchers and thinking, should we push? Is the time now? Because they've got so much advantage, they can just choose their time to push in. They've popped in now. Funds and Smear will take this in, take out the sentry gun, a lickety split, and they're back, and even got the Uber's kill, who's trying to get a kill under their noses as well between this whole flank side. Gandhi kind of frees himself as well. That is another easy kill for Funds. Funds might even go for a triple. Oh god, is that another air shot to end the round? Of course it is. It's 5-1, Peter.
It just seems like that's how you end rounds these days. It's just you gotta get that soldier air shot. That's how you celebrate.
It's like a dartboard, you know. You can't end the game unless it's a double.
Exactly. Yeah. If only they got double air shots every time the round ended, but you know, we should only be so lucky. But yeah, definitely the bin needs to just make a stop here to it, and they're just gonna run a different sniper to mid. Maybe that's the key.
Yeah, I mean, Gandhi's been playing a lot of soldier, a lot of scout, but hasn't had a chance of playing sniper. He does get an early headshot onto Funds, so he's starting off the round right here. And Chris has also been controlled. That has been a guy that's been giving them a big headache, but it's a shame they can't keep Ratslayer alive. He's the backbone for these mids. He dictates a lot of the starting damage for these soldiers and the scouts to play off. And, well, without him now, you can see where Smear is kind of laying some damage out. Funds and... oh, God, they're actually overextended. When chasing some of these kills, they get pushed onto the back foot and farmed off, and Smear was the only one left alive. There was even a crossbow in the mix there. Champagne showing the boys how it's done.
Yeah, it's gonna, you know, do some medic on medic action right there, taking down the medic herself. You know, if your team can't do it, you might as well just step in there and do it yourself. So now it's going to be the bin with a full advantage here. And this is exactly what they need to want to come back. There's still 15 minutes remaining, so plenty of time actually. You know, there's still half the match remaining, so if you can go down 4 points, you can definitely get 4 points back in that time. Yeah. So they just need to play it right.
If you look at the big picture of this as well, if they lose in that sort of fashion, imagine what morale state you would be in for the third map. But maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. They've Ubered in, they've killed the sentry gun really quickly. They've got Funds back up on that heavy weapons guy, and he's slowly plinking away at them while the rest of Team Swift come collapsing in. Ubers get some nice damage onto the point, but he's the last man in, so no real follow-up there, as they get a lot of cap time, but no sort of capture over on this last point.
Oh, look at that Poppy, he's just super aggressive.
Oh my god, what a man. He is a just an absolute beast of a soldier, taking a lot of damage as well. Even isolates Champagne in this choke area. Very well done by Mikazien to get that kill onto the medic, and now they just have to play heals here on Swift. Ubers is too busy looking at every other frag except the medic frag though, and it makes it quite easy shot practice for Smear.
Yeah, Gandhi's going to go for the hero play. Come on, Gandhi. Do it.
Gandhi, where are you? Gandhi!
Behind!
Oh,
he
behind.
actually got his...
He can't seem to hit the medic when...
The perfect setup for the perfect play. He's got like... Okay, that was the third try. Oh, yeah, just doing shame. Oh, man. That could have been so cool. Unfortunately, you have to hit your shots as well.
Wait a tick. Did Ratslayer just go to spectators to remove a domination from him? That's just poor. Poor. Anyway, it's 6-1 here. Like I had to announce it. We all knew it was coming with these desperate plays coming out from Gandhi, and Ratslayer actually choosing to go to spectator rather than build some stickies on last point. It was all over in their heads, and it's all over now. So Swift are going into our grand final to face off 7 once again, Beta. Are you shocked?
Nope. This is what I thought would happen at the beginning of the season, and this is now what happened. And also, just looking at the results, it looked very much like that was going to be the case. So no, I am not shocked at all. And also, like Bin just kind of seemed like they didn't really have their heart in it. They didn't care that much, I don't think. Well, so, got the final we deserved.
Whether they cared or not, their journey has ended here, Beta, and we should still congratulate them for them getting to their place they are. They will take away the 3rd place, I guess, bronze medal of this season 30, and we should still congratulate them nonetheless. There were still a lot of teams, a lot of players fighting for this spot, and I don't think they're going to be disappointed. If anything, they're going to be a bit flabbergasted to say what tough conditions they had at the start of the season.
Indeed, and the scouts were just absolutely dominant on this map. Funds went 19-3, Samsey went 17-5, Poppy went 19-7. So yeah, just even more than before. And Ratslayer went 3-13. Yowz. And Gandhi was very pacifist, I guess, fittingly enough.
While we're looking through all the logs, Peter, you think you could give me something that technology can't give me? Can you give me just a regular MVP award? Who would you award the best player in this server right now? Logs be damned.
Chris. I feel like Chris had the biggest impact. He did a lot of really good stuff, and he actually has the worst logs, at least on this map. But he was doing some real work. So I will give Chris the MVP. What about you?
Yeah, Chris definitely. I think it's just in the Chris show, hasn't it, really? Usually with maps like Gully Wash going into Process, you fall off when Process arrives, but he started so strongly on this Process map with that mid, and things were just being quite rolly as well. It was just the Chris show, because that's the only time that Roma gets to really shine on the map like Process, and boy did he shine.
Yep. Maybe we should talk to a guy who also had a really good game. We should probably talk to Samsey, who's actually in here.
Oh, he's actually come for the interview? I thought he would literally just punch his work card in and then just go straight home. Alright, okay, well, I guess we could probably put away the logs. I don't think there's much we can derive from a 6-1 victory. So we'll get straight to the interviews. Wrap this up quickly. Otherwise, this has been this has been the ETF2L Season Premiership, sponsored by SDN Trading and Scrap.tf. This is our lower bracket final. We are going into the interview now with Samsey from Team Swift. And Samsey, what have you got to say to yourself after a game like that?
Yeah, well played, I guess.
Well played, I guess. All right, well, Samsey, do you have any sort of regrets about tonight at all? Is there anything that you were displeased with from both of these maps? Maybe just how the match turned out. They had a couple of mercs at the start of the game. Were you kind of hoping for a bigger, better match?
Not really. I think they just wanted to finish the season default, so they just try to keep going, which is wait all evening without even playing. They stick through both maps, so play to them.
Was there any point this evening, like maybe when you lost the first round on Gully Wash against them? Wait, it wasn't the first round. The first round to them where they gained a point. Was there ever a point where SVIFT have to kind of knuckle down a little bit, like perk up in their chairs, or was it still quite relaxed no matter what round was being captured?
I think it was still just like good fun for us, and we eventually lost the map around the process as well, but it's not gonna matter that much in the long run. Playing our game, you know.
All right. Okay. Well, it sounds like we've got Bishkov in here. Oh, that's Gandhi. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Hello.
Well.
Hello.
Hello, TurboTabs.
Yeah, I'm doing good, Gandhi. All right.
Hey.
All right. We welcome in Gandhi. We welcome in Isla from. That's not another version of Gandhi or something, right? That is Isla.
Nah,
right?
it's Spo or Isla.
That's me. Yeah.
Different people.
All right. Well, we welcome you in.
Cheers.
All right, guys. How did that game go? What were you displeased with? What were you saddened about by this game? Is there anything you could wish?
Didn't care really. It was just a fun game. Knew we were gonna lose. Went in, had a blast. That's it.
Yeah. The short time I played, I had an absolute blast of a time. Wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, no regrets. Honestly, it's like, we don't expect to win, do we? They're fucking monsters.
Well, so are you guys happy with your season? I guess you can't really speak because you've just murked, haven't you?
Team. We just murked one game,
Yeah.
so I don't really know about that question.
All right.
say,
Well,
yeah.
Can we talk about your sniper play at the end there?
Yeah, I kind of missed 3 shots on conduct, but he's got fucking. You see his moves, he's just spamming A&D when I was behind him, so I'm never hitting that shot.
Man, that's dedication to the medic craft. You know, just spamming A&D even when you think there's no danger. That's just good medicing.
Yeah, I gotta say, Connor's really proved himself this season.
okay, Gandhi, is there any point at all where you guys thought we could actually make this a close game? Like
No,
maybe
not
one.
one.
Not even in that first round.
No way.
Nah. Even when I dropped Condor, a fucking massive bomb, I didn't think we were winning. We'd get around maybe, but then Sounds would just take control of the game again and we'd just lose.
Well, there you go. Man, where can you take this interview? You guys are just seem. I guess I can't even talk about your overall season because you guys were just murking.
Yeah, it works. I mean, I made the team. I'm the creator of the bin. If anyone's looking.
All right. Well, you can tell me. You're the
bin.
greatest man to tell me about this team's struggle. Like,
it's just a shit team and a bunch of twats on it. So that's why I left. I made the team, played with them for a bit. They were annoying, so I left, and now I'm back, and they were shit.
Can you let us know about the I-63? I know there's
they're going.
We're
going. We're gonna have a thread up soon.
All right. Can you tell us what the lineup's going to be on that one?
No more info. Check the thread.
Not confirmed yet.
Not confirmed yet. All right. Well,
got some real names. Got some real plans though. Keep your eyes peeled on TFTV.
All right. And who do you think? Do you think SVIFT has any chance of actually beating Seven in the finals?
No.
What? No, not
What?
Not Froyo. No, we're talking about.
Mental beta.
No, we're talking about season 30. The SVIFT versus
Seven.
Seven.
Don't really care. Don't really watch it.
TF2 doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I hope Swift win though.
Yeah, best of luck to them.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, Samsy, what do you think? What do you think the key is to you guys to have a chance of beating Seven? Like, what's the key there?
Yeah, I guess Connor not dying every fucking mid. That would help.
Sick.
Not really
have to replace
putting
him,
all the blame on him, but yeah, maybe there's gonna be a big call up right before the final. You know, Bab's still on the roster. I don't know.
Is there any sort of major changes you were thinking about going into this last match? Like maybe some sort of severe tactics change or a map talk, or are you guys just going to have another crack at it and hope that it just works out better this time?
Probably just gonna be Night Tiger, to be honest. Like, easy.
Okay.
Yeah, that was our plan since Night Fun. It just didn't work. It's just too much of a fucking monster. You see him, you die. So what's your plan? How are you going to shut down Tiger, Samsy?
I'm just not gonna let him play.
How?
Oh, he's not on the roster, is he?
Oh, you mean tonight like that instead of in the server? Yeah, he's banned. He shouldn't be able to play. He's banned. I mean, what the fuck am I playing at? Am I right, guys?
It's controversial to say the least, but I guess we can start wrapping things up now.
Well, no, if you're banned, you shouldn't be able to play. It's not only controversial. Like, if you break a rule, you should punish you.
It's up to you, Samsy. You're holding all the cards here. You can deny the boy if you really wanted to.
Yeah, we're gonna have a vote.
A vote? Wow.
We're gonna put up a poll.
Okay. Is all TF? You gonna have a whole poll between the community? Let the community decide, not just your team.
Why would we do that?
I don't know, because it'd be funny. All right. Okay.
I think I just get fucking middies from Open rooting for their boy, so let's not do that.
All right, let's round it off. The game's over. That's been ETF2L Season 30 Premiership, sponsored by STN Trading, Scrap.tf. That was our coverage of the Bin versus Swift. We've had Fishkoff, Samsy in for interview. I guess you all get a shout out for just joining me in the interview, so I'm going to let you go alphabetically, and I guess Fishkoff, Gandhi, whatever you want to be called, it's you first.
Just shout out my mates, really. Thanks for supporting me in this journey. Look out for the bin at I-63. Thread will be up soon. Keep your eyes peeled.
Isla?
Shout out to Yillen and my own stream. Please go and follow.
Yeah, SCN1 SLA. It's an up-and-coming Dota player.
Samsy?
I want to shout him out.
Yeah, shout out to my team, shout out for the cast.
Shout out to STN.tf.
Shout out to STN, yeah.
They are
Big
the
money
boys.
on the line this time. Yeah.
Beta, got any special people out there?
I guess shout out to
Oh, well, shout out to his internet, I guess. Shout out to everybody out there for tuning in tonight. You're the reason we do this. Shout out to my lovely interviewers for joining me in the interview. Shout out to both the teams, Bin, the Swift. Shout out to everybody at teamfortress.tv. Shout out to all of the stuff I need to say at the end, which is like Discord, Facebook, Twitter, and the website as well. Other than that, that's been us, boys. We'll see you next time for the final. Oh boy.